end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot, off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, go! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is upon us here at Fans Only Sports Network for the final game of Day 3 of the Burrillville Holiday Classic from Levy Ice Rink in Burrillville, Rhode Island. The final matchup tonight. Both teams come into the competition at 2-0 in the tournament. One will walk away as the victor of the Burrillville Holiday Classic. Between the Burrillville Broncos and the Cumberland Clippers, I'm the man to take you through the plays tonight. Chris Hetu here from Burrillville, Rhode Island. I've been here these last 2 days and all the games that have been played today, and I'm here to take you through the last of it. As once again, tonight's matchup between the Burrillville Broncos and the Cumberland Clippers. Both teams played very well in their first 2 games. Both wins, obviously, and we take a look back at that. Burrillville defeating North Smithfield in Day 1 by a final of 4-3. East Greenwich played a good game against Cumberland, but ultimately in overtime, the Clippers came away with the victory. The next day, Moses Brown came to town, scored a goal on the Broncos, but never scored again. Broncos managed to tie the affair, but even through overtime, they couldn't settle it, so we ended up in shootouts, and the Broncos came away with 2 shots on goal to 1 and walked away with a 2-1 win in the shootouts. And then for Cumberland, a very messy game last night against Cumberland. Not a lot of scoring. Well, a lot of scoring in that, some good scoring in the first half. We went to halftime at 2 apiece. But then 14 penalties were assessed. 4 only against Cumberland, but a whopping 10 against the Pontigansa Chieftains. Chieftains ended up letting the game escape, and the Clippers took full advantage. Final score in that one, 6-3. So both teams, we can see, have played some great hockey, but how are they going to shape up against one another? And we'll find out in just a few moments as both sides break their huddles on either side. And we'll get the opening starting lineups. And with that, we'll direct our attention to the right-hand side to the visiting Cumberland Clippers, and we'll get their announcements for their starting lineups. And your starting man in the net tonight, number 30, Jared Johnson for the Clippers. And with that, we'll turn our direction over to the left-hand side to the home squad, the Burrillville Broncos. Ethan Murphy and Steven Rodriguez, a big piece to this Broncos offense throughout the season. They want to finish off the tournament on the strongest note possible. And your starting man in the net tonight, number 30, Devlin Mansloff. Mansloff and Fioid switch back and forth, so we'll see who'll be the true goaltender for the rest of the evening. But with that, we'll turn our direction to the left for the playing of our national anthem. And with the slap of the sticks on the ice, we are all ready to go from Levy Ice Rink for the final game of the Burrillville Holiday Classic, the 11th annual for that matter. Before we get into the actual gameplay, we'll give you the word from today's game sponsors. Today's game is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For consultation and information, visit josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then finally by our Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by going to our Elite Recruits. Visit www.oureliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. And we are all set to go here in this one. Should be a barn burner of an ending here for the Burrillville Holiday Classic, and we just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into these games right here on Fans Only Sports Network. You can purchase your live stream passes at fansonlysports.com. We got multiple tournaments going on as we speak. The Prout Tournament and, of course, the Mount St. Charles Tournament. Those tournaments still going on tonight and will conclude tomorrow. If you have a full season winter pass, you're already covered, but if you want to just watch an individual team like the Broncos or Clippers, we've got single game passes for you too, all at fansonlysports.com. That's sports with a Z. And with that, we are underway as the Broncos win the faceoff. Gomes over to the left side that time for LaPrade, and at center, Rodriguez will take it up for Burrillville. Rodriguez flips it around for Carey, and Sen comes in, or Robbins that was, to stop the charge. Dumping it back to center. Gomes flips it along the glass, and it's brought down to the ice for Ethan Murphy. And Murphy dumps it in as the Broncos get a line change early. Clippers trying to establish some type of push. Oliveira bouncing it off the skates as it gets to Perrin. Into the zone. Robbins. And the defense there in the slot. At the top, Lopes a shot. Hits the protective netting out of play with 21:41 to go. Saw a strong forecheck from the Broncos at the start of this one, but off that back check, the Clippers really screaming back into relevancy in this game. Should see a very balanced game throughout. Nate Niaz, he'll give that off that time to Patrick Poisson, and at center, Patrick Murphy's puck taken away from him as it's poked away by Sam Lopes. Niaz trying to get around Sean Taylor. Taylor getting some help from Robbins as they're checked into the boards. And now taking it up ice, Ryan Fournette trying to lead Poisson, but it's stopped there by McGill. And McGill's shot on Mansloff is our first shot of tonight's game. On the near side. And it'll come back through center. First to make contact there. And they'll pass it up ice and dump it in. Mansloff came out of the box for a moment to guide the puck, and Perrin will pass it over to Lopes. Jacob Lopes with the dump in. Going off to the left side of Mansloff. In the near corner. It'll wrap around behind the net as LaPrade trying to gain separation from Troy Sen. Robbins getting in on the fun that time as it's Ryan Stone trying to break the puck free. And that'll bring it to the 5 of Frankie Staples at center. Perrin with the dump in. A chance in front, and then Oliveira that was Oliveira on the shot. And the save from Mansloff. Sen, and Troy Sen challenging Mansloff there. Mansloff stands tall. And so we'll face off one more time in the Broncos side of the ice. Dumped in. Taylor all around the backside with Potter on his tail. Taylor Redirects, trying to give it off that time. Right in front, Manslov can't seem to glove the puck out of the way. And still in play. Niaz back to center. And that time, that was Nick Carey trying to extend the stick to stop the play. And Potter's going to have to chase this one down. Potter has Sam Lopes on his tail. Unable to make much happen. Lopes to chase this puck down with Niaz right in front. And oh, this one hits the backboards. Not in the direction of the net. Murphy, he'll dump this one up to center, and the Clippers need to get set onside. Lopes, pass up to center. It goes right into Nate Niaz of Burrillville. Niaz, that's the first shot on goal for the Broncos today, but a good chance coming. Pat Murphy trying to set up Poisson in the slot, and that shot not in a good position for the one-timer. And Lopes will dump this back to center. Gomes with the dump in. McGill the first to make contact. McGill. He'll feed this one up to the 7 of Hunter Jones. And it goes right to Manslov, who will glove it away. LaPrade and a couple of others trying to break the puck free, as it's just being kicked around a whole bunch before Hunter Jones breaks it free. And cleared back at center ice. And we get our first icing call of the game. Some decent setups from both sides, but in these early goings, I feel like you have to give the edge to Cumberland. They've just had more scoring chances as of late, and the Broncos are just really playing on their heels right now. I feel as if the Clippers have really caught them off guard in the start of this one. In the near corner, they continue to fight for the puck as this one gets ricocheted off the glass and chased down, but icing the call one more time. And so we'll face off on the left-hand side one more time. 17:58 to go in the first half, and the score still sits at 0 apiece. And Oliveira, that one way over the top of the net, and Lopes is going to have to come back to center to shepherd the puck. Over to Perrin. Perrin feeding Sen. Troy Sen trying to get it around Cam Potter. Sen with the setup to Oliveira, and they just couldn't get the extension to make the shot happen. Rodriguez comes up with it defensively, and he'll take this one up ice for Burrillville. The dump in as Carey's the first to meet it, tried to cross it over to Murphy, and they couldn't get set up. Oliveira coming in strong. Sets him up, back of the net, shot, score! And it's the Clippers who strike first in this one. The number 17 of Troy Sen puts the Clippers up first. Correction, the 14 of Christian Oliveira. And that was Christian Oliveira. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, on that one. Christian Oliveira to take the first goal scored here for the Clippers. Clippers take an early 1-0 lead here in Burrillville. Wrapped around back to center. And being brought up ice that time by Matthew Collette, and we get a whistle offsides called on the Clippers. So as we thought in the early going, Clippers, they've been putting more shots on net. We still only have one sole shot on goal from the Burrillville Broncos. They're really going to need to turn things up if they want to see themselves have an advantage in this one. Broncos take the face-off as Potter will bring this around to the corner and try and use the glass to his advantage. Fournette with the dump off to Poisson. Now around the backside, Niaz. He'll dump this one down. St. Pierre sends it around to the other side, and it's nearly poked back into center ice. Potter, Poisson to dump it back, and we get an offsides call. So we'll face off back at center. And Sen trying to poke the puck free. And Sen will dump this in. Mansloff to stop it behind the net. Niaz flips it around to the near side. Oliveira tries to backhand it on Mansloff. And Lopes will send it back down to Sen. Sen checked into the boards. And a chance for Jamie Robbins, and he can't seem to sneak this one through the 5-hole. Ethan Murphy gives it off to Nick Carey. Nick Carey tries to dump that one away, and he doesn't do it to success, but Rodriguez will get the chance. And right in center ice, Fournette. And Poisson continue to fight for the puck. Nearly intercepted, but a clean pass to Patrick Murphy. He dumps it in. Parent to make the first contact, and Lopes will wrap it around for Sen. Oliveira, who had the first goal scored for the Clippers, sends another one down, an absolute rocket, and this one finds the back of the net. Off the rebounds. And that's the score made once again by the 14 of Christian Oliveira. Oliveira and Robbins were both there, and the Clippers take a 2-0 lead. In the early minutes of this one, Broncos offenses seemingly fell asleep. They trail in shots against by 8, 10-2. And they need to have some more offensive production to find themselves in this one. Potter, up ice, intercepted at center ice, and sent up, dumped in by Taylor. And Oliveira, once again, his second goal of the game. And this pass up to Poisson connects. Poisson sends it right at Johnson, who will glove this one up. We just haven't seen a very good establishment when the Broncos enter the zone, but they'll get a chance here. We don't have the number for number 12 for Cumberland, but he's going to head to the box for a trip. So the Broncos will have their first opportunity, really, to get some points on the board with the power play. The first power play of the game. Gavin Freiberger, the man hitting the box there. So 2-minute minor being assessed. And the clock officially starts here. And another one whiffed on. Back to center. Oliveira the first to meet it. Oliveira trying to navigate between. A nice toe drag. Finds the back of the net. Christian Oliveira in the first half has a hat trick. The shorthanded attempt, an unbelievable score. Give him the Hattie. Give him the 3. Cumberland takes a 3-0 lead. Wow. Wow. We did not expect this, ladies and gentlemen, as that toe drag goes right behind Mansloff. And the Broncos have opted to make a change in net as Michael Theoid will come in and take over the duties. Poisson giving it off to LaPrade. Back to Stone. No, Fournette. Now to Poisson. Broncos trying to make haste. The shot. Wow, that was a great shot from Fournette. You can see there was a lot of fury on that one. And this one, Fournette intercepted by Perrin. And the Clippers, they're just connecting on all cylinders. And Christian Oliveira is the man to kick this one off for them. LaPrade through center, gives it off to Fournette. Fournette crossing that blue line. And it'll be in the near side corner. Niaz rifles one down, and Perrin there again to clear it as well. Just in the right place at the right time. Jones, he'll dump this one into the near corner. LaPrade. Around the cage of Fioid. LaPrade off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, it bounces off of Murphy's back, and Ethan Murphy getting all tangled up. Pat Murphy too. And this puck dumped away. I have never seen this strong of confidence from the Cumberland Clippers, but they're just playing on a different level tonight. Rodriguez cutting across. Rodriguez couldn't get it set up in the zone. But he'll try again, and he's going to have to clear it ultimately. Forced out of play by Sean Taylor. And the Broncos will have to get back on side, but regardless, Freiberger comes out as the penalty expires. Carey, pass up to center, and it's poked into play, and a whistle calling the play dead as Colin Riley came across that blue line a little too early. 12:33 left to go in half number one, and the score 3-0 as the Clippers are just running it up on the Broncos. And this will bring questions if the Broncos can't seem to find their way back into this one. They've been one of the highest scoring teams in the league so far. And of course, this is a non-league game, but this could tell the tale of a potential rivalry for later in the season. Anderson being shoved back a bunch. And now Lopes will scoop it up through center. Jacob Lopes in the slot, and Fioid with the glove save. 12:10 to go. And so we'll face off here on the Broncos side of the ice. Using the glass to the advantage, however, it'll go into the bench, out of play. So we'll face off one more time on the Broncos side of the ice, potentially. Off the win. Sending behind the net to Potter. Potter trying to lead Poisson. And Fournette can't break free from his defensive zone. Potter trying to cross it. Deflects off the skates. Broncos just really looking very out of sync in tonight's game so far. They just haven't been able to get the connections that we're seeing the Clippers have. Sen coming into the zone. Bouncing off the pads of Fioid. And another one coming in front into the slot. And Pat Murphy at center. Poisson can't get the stick on the puck as Robbins brings it back in. Murphy back in neutral ice. He'll dump this one in, and the Broncos will get a line change. Navigating behind the net, here comes McGill. McGill with the feed past Sen. It looked like he wasn't ready for it. And now Ethan Murphy feeding Nick Carey. Carey has a lane as it hits Johnson, and Johnson, good job of making the save there. And we'll face off in the left-hand corner. And floating back to center. Here comes Sean Taylor. Taylor sends one down at Fioid. Fioid coming way out of the box that time. That could have been dangerous. And the Clippers keep it in the zone. Freiberger trying to give it off with Gomes on his back. That was Gomes. And Fioid, another chance. Back of the net again. There it is. Goal number 4. The Clippers just keep adding it on here in the early moments of this first half. give it to the number 9 of Sean Taylor. And with that, the Clippers take a 4-0 lead. It's really sucking the life and energy out of this Broncos home crowd. They've been utterly silent since this first goal really let us off. Potter, the pass up ice. That'll go past the 12 of Polacek. Polacek at center. Trying to lead it up front, and now to chase this down is Matthew Medeiros. Trying to set him up in the slot. Another one coming down from Staples. And both sides still trying to find exchanges. Collette bringing it back up from the Clippers through center ice. Knocks down Potter, and we've got an offsides call against Cumberland. Surprised we haven't seen a timeout call. But 3 straight goals were scored on Devlin Mansloff. His day ended very quickly. And Michael Fioid surrendering one so far already. It's just been all Cumberland throughout this first half. Chasing it down that time was Matt Medeiros. Medeiros trying to fight with Pat Murphy as the puck's getting kicked around a whole bunch up against the wall. This one dangles off to the left that time. And it'll come back to center. Gomes with the dump in. And we'll go to the near side corner. Medeiros and crew continue to battle. And back at center, it's eventually picked up and dumped in that time by Colin Rayleigh. Gomes sends it past Poisson, and we'll get an icing call that time. Let's get another word from today's game sponsors. Today is brought to you in part by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Ave in Cranston, Rhode Island. For more information and consultation, go to josephlammy.com. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. And then by our Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For high school athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen and go to RR Elite Recruits. Visit www.rreliterecruits.com to sign up for more information. Nearly cleared back to center ice, and it will. Murphy bringing it down, giving it to Rodriguez. There's a lot of congestion right there, and it's broken up. Carey giving it back. Potter traps it down and goes past Rodriguez's skates, and Ethan Murphy will have it. This one's sailing nearly right in front of the net, and somehow Troy Sen comes away with it for Cumberland. Sen trying to skate around Potter, using the big body to his advantage. Sen sends it back the other way for Robbins. Robbins trying to kick it ahead of him as he's getting shoved by Rodriguez a whole bunch, and now Nate Nias. Christian Oliveira back out on the ice. He already has a hat trick in this one. And it'll come back to center before it's dumped in. Fioid with the stop as Potter will pick this one up. Robbins trying to chase him down, and it'll go to the far side corner. Pass Murphy to Jacob Lopes. Lopes, it deflects off, and it'll be poked back to center ice. Murphy trying to feed Carey, and Perrin, the one to break that one up. A hard hit right in front of the bench. And LaPrade to bring this up. And poked away. Sam Lopes. Lopes traveling into the zone. Sam Lopes with a chance now. Sam Lopes finds the back of the net, and they'll say no good. That was the 9 of Sean Taylor from Sam Lopes, and our official's going to call the goal off. And it's no good, as it looked like it was the 9 of Sean Taylor kicked the puck in. We had an incident in the last game where East Greenwich would have had a goal if it was not for a hand to knock the puck in. Or actually, it was Moses Brown. So right in front, another chance in the slot. Fioid. Very dangerous territory there. As Lopes nearly found the back of the net that time. 7:45 to go in the first period. And your score, 4-0 Cumberland over Burrillville. It's just been a very tough go of it, as the Clippers have just come out and have really dominated this final game of the tournament so far. Still got plenty of time to go, but if the Broncos want to answer back, They got to start some type of comeback. They just looked very sloppy and out of sync so far. Taylor trying to lead Lopes right in front. The puck's still dangling in front of Mansloff. It was in a very dangerous situation. Or excuse me, that was Fioid. That one going to bounce off of Fioid for the Clippers' 20th shot of the game so far. That'll stop us with 7:20 to go. And so we'll face off on the Broncos side of the ice. Lopes fires one in, and a glove save from Fioid. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to the Burrillville Holiday Classic. This is the final game of the tournament between the two undefeated teams. If you're interested in buying streaming passes for the season or even just single games, go to fansonlysports.com. You can check out all the action there. That's Sports with a Z. Anderson, it's tipped away from him as he tried to set up a good offensive attack. And the Broncos will try again as Fournette dumps it in. Anderson flips it around on the near side. Shot! Wow, Fournette. That one went wide as he was set up perfectly for that one-timer. On the near side. It's going to wrap around to the back. Over that time to the aid of Jacob Lopes, and he'll cut back to center. Cam Potter off to Nate Niaz. Over to Potter. Potter. Skate up ice with it. Cam Potter checked to the floor by the aid of Jacob Lopes. And now Oliveira, the man with the 3 goals. 3 of the 4 goals. That one rifled up wide to the right. And dumped into the zone. Back at center. Robbins lets it escape, but Sen's there to help him. Troy Sen. Sen around Gomes. Sen, and the puck ricochets off to the left side. This one, wow, deflected by the defense into the netting and out of play. 5 and change to go. And it's been a very entertaining first half so far. Of course, the second half has potential itself. The Broncos, they want it to have any potential for them to eventually come back in this one. They need to light the lamp soon. Sooner rather than later. And on the near side, it's flipped behind the back, but it's kept in play. Robbins, it's given off to Rodriguez for Burrillville. McGill trying to trap it down and keep it away from Murphy. And Robbins able to take it away and keep it in the Broncos zone. Rodriguez flips it around the near side boards. And a chance for Oliveira. This one bouncing off. Going through again as Fioid makes another great stop. And the puck cleared back to center. It was touched by a Clipper, so no icing to be called. McGill brings it up center ice, and he'll dump this one in. Fioid with the stop for Potter. Ripped around the left side as Taylor was the first to make contact, and Knees will send it up. However, Polacek can't seem to gain the separation. Polacek does clear it back to center. Oliveira after it. And he'll redirect. Oliveira cutting through for the Clippers. Oliveira, it deflects off of Niaz's stick off to the right-hand side. Another one comes across Fioid. And poked back up as Potter saw Taylor in the vicinity. And it's cleared back to center ice. Lopes over to his man as it's dumped in. And icing going to be the call on the floor. And now for the face-off. And the puck dangling around a whole bunch before it's cleared back to center ice. Not much time remaining in the first half. And it's been 4-0 Clippers. And Fioid makes a great save that time as the 7 of Hunter Jones try to sneak one in. And for the face-off. On the near side, it'll be wrapped around the back and back to the near. Puck still right in front of the glass, and it's hooked back up to center to Jacob Lopes. And it bounces off to Hunter Jones, but poked away by the Broncos D. However, it ricochets back the other way. Jones scoots around the parade and sends it around behind the back as Fournette meets it. He'll send it back the other way. Freiberger coming in to try and make a play for Cumberland. And this one back up to center. Excuse me. Freiberger slips it past the parade. Back to Sam Lopes. And Fioid gloves that one down. So we'll face off down in front of the Burrillville goal. This one ricocheting, cutting back to center. Rodriguez has it poked away. And now being taken up by Murphy. Into the zone. And wrapped around back to the other side. Ethan Murphy trying to feed it right in front. And Jacob Lopes ultimately gives it up to Christian Oliveira. And he left it sitting at the blue line, and we get an offside call. 2 and change to go. Clippers lead 4-0. And the shot differential completely one-sided. 26 shots on goal in the first half for the Clippers, and for the Broncos, only 8 to show so far. Haven't had the opportunities open up as this Clippers team has just been dominating in all facets from goaltending to defense and offense. They are just there every play. Collette gives it up to Robbins at center. Behind Potter, and he'll use the back of his stick to give it up that time to the 28 of Connor Davis. In front of the bench, Dean Perillo. It's flipped off over to Robbins. Scooting it past defenders, and the Broncos clear it back to center. Davis gave it off that time, and it'll come back over to St. Pierre. Robbins cuts inside, having a whole lot of trouble as multiple Broncos defenders were there, and Potter will come up with it for Burrillville. And dumped in. And icing going to be the call on the floor with 1:47. And now for the face-off. This one deflecting, but it stays in onside for the Clippers. Taylor the first to meet it as it's dumped around the backside for Fournette. Fournette trying to gain control as Colin Rayleigh's giving him a whole bunch of trouble, and Jacob Gomes will help him out. Back to Fournette. And cleared at center. Trying to chase it down. Here's a good chance for Patrick Murphy, and Johnson stands up to the tall task. Trying to set up another one. Backhanding try, and Anderson was not in the right position to get that shot set up on net. Colin Rayleigh. Rayleigh sends one at the chest of Vioid, and that'll go down as a save. .104 remaining in the first period, and your score 4-0 as the Broncos trail the Cumberland Clippers. Yeah, now for the face-off. And McGill rifling one down. It bounces off of Mansloff to the left. And now Stevie Rodriguez to bring it up to center, giving it to Ethan Murphy. Murphy trekking across the blue line to Rodriguez. Rodriguez into the protective glass. And Nate Niaz to give it off that time as Carey gets checked into the boards. Potter having to backtrack. He'll cut back inside the zone. Murphy trying to play keep away. And that time Robbins will come up with it. And it's cleared back to center. Niaz flips it back to Rodriguez at center ice. Rodriguez giving it off to Ethan Murphy. Murphy has it poked away that time from Hunter Jones as time continues to expire. One last push as Jamie Robbins comes back up in the center, and it'll bounce off the glass. On the far side corner, Rodriguez or Potter giving it to Nick Carey. Carey's got to take a shot, and Johnson's going to make the save. Ethan Murphy a little tangled up, and that will do it for the first half of action. In unceremonious fashion for the Broncos, they trail the Cumberland Clippers by a score of 4-0. And we'll wait as both sides head to the locker room, and that Zamboni resurfaces the ice for us for the start of the second half. We'll be right back. Once again, Cumberland leading Burrillville 4-0 at the end of one, and we'll be back for the start of the second half right here on Fans Only Sports Network. The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The shot! Off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Justin fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown!
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of the second half here from Levy Ice Rink and the final game of the Burrillville Holiday Classic between the Cumberland Clippers and the Burrillville Broncos. Broncos trail in the affair by a score of 4-0. Clippers can back the lead off of a triple goal set up, a Hattie by the 14 of Christian Oliveira, as he scored 3 of the 4 goals in today's game. And the Clippers take the face-off immediately. What we saw from them in the last half was the fact that they were just able to control all facets of the game as this one hits the ceiling out of play. And they just look to maintain that dominance, whereas the Broncos, they need some type of spark. As you can see in the shot column, 28 shots on net for the Clippers, only 10 for the Broncos through one half of action. So the Broncos really needing to step up here, and they've got plenty of time to do it. They just have to execute. Clippers keep it in the zone as Perrin dumps it in. Oliveira flips it down to Sen. Gomes trying to get ahead of him, but it's going to come around to the left side. Up to center Fournette leading Murphy, and he let him a little too much. But no icing to be called. And it's going to go back to Sen on the far side. Now Oliveira to take it off. Christian Oliveira flips a backhander off of Fioid, or this is Mansloff once again, as they elect to take out Michael Fioid and put back in Devlin Mansloff. This one hitting off the backboards. McGill up to Sen at center. Sam Lopes skates right past it, but Sen holds the possession. Potter dumps it up to Murphy. Murphy tied up right there by McGill at center. And tossed up. This shot bouncing behind the net that time. And it's wrapped around the far side. Lopes. And now it's taken up to center. Here comes the 9 of Sean Taylor. Trying to set up Lopes in the slots. And unable to extend. Well, Lopes finding the possession as it's poked away by Ethan Murphy, and it's dumped back into the zone. Mansloff giving it off to Potter. Intercepted by Taylor, who crosses it over. Lopes was not, it was in the vicinity, but just not in the prime positioning. McGill dumps it back in. Potter. Sent in the other direction as Fournette can't seem to come up with the puck. And it skates past Jacob Lopes, and now Sam Lopes to dump it in. Nate Nias will dump this puck forward. It bounces off of Murphy as he dumps it in. Still waiting for our first shot on net for the Broncos as Fournette sends this one in. And Patrick Poisson trying to get in on Sen. And Fournette and crew, but the Broncos just keep having mishandles of this puck. Sen trying to skate behind the defense. And LaPrade playing very close to the box there as Lopes is pushed from the back. And Anderson to take this puck. Gomes, excuse me. Gomes, it wraps around to the near side. Chance right up front, and wow, tried to sneak it between the shoulder and the post was Jamie Robbins. A little wide that time. And this one way over the top of the net. Christian Oliveira tries to poke it back for Robbins. Robbins sends one down at Mansloff for the Clippers' 30th shot of the game, and it's saved. So we'll come back to center ice. And Rodriguez. Stevie Rodriguez, it appears, has left the game as he may have been ejected. So that is, without a doubt, that's a first-line starter for the Broncos. And Stevie Rodriguez has been a formidable offensive weapon for this unit all season. And in a game where they trail 4-0, sure, it's a non-league game, but it's a game they need him to produce in. And we haven't seen much production at all. But ultimately leaving this one. McGill rifles one down to the left side from center. And he'll come back to the near. Wrapping around the backside as Nias is trying to play keep away from the 15 of Colin Rayleigh. And trying to set it up in front of Mansloff, and somehow it's taken away by Stone. Stone giving it off to Carey. And Carey's not able to handle the puck too well as it's taken away by the 23 of Liam St. Pierre, who then gives it off to Hunter Jones. Jones skates around Gomes. Behind the net of Mansloff. And it'll wrap around the backside. LaPrade. It's cut back up on top. That shot. It'll hit out of play into the protective netting. 17:57 to go. Let's get a word from our sponsors at Precision Home Lending.
Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
And off the face-off, right in front of Mansloff. And the puck cuts back to the near side. And this one rifled down nice. Traveling around the backside, LaPrade sends it behind the back for Anderson, who clearly wasn't ready for it. Really what we've seen from the Broncos' performance, nearly a good chance for Sam Lopes to make a play, but Gabe Anderson had to sell out on the floor to make the stop. Icing going to be the call there. Ultimately, though, when you look at the way this game's played out, the Clippers have really just put their foot on the gas pedal and have just never let off since the start of this one, since the first goal they scored in the early going. And the Broncos have just looked like a team that is a deer in the headlights. They just haven't been able to really put it together and be able to figure this one out. And so we'll get a face-off on the right-hand side. Still a pretty full crowd, but this Burrillville crowd has just been dead silent throughout much of this one. Coming back through center, Murphy trying to get a good setup in front of the net, but a good defensive effort that time by the Clippers. Heading behind the net is Fournette. At the point, that was Rodney Fournette trying to dump it back in. And McGill ultimately takes it away for the Clippers. And at the first shot of the period for the Broncos is a score. And they finally cut into this lead and bring some life back into this ice rink. And give credit of the goal to the 18 of Patrick Poisson. And the Broncos cut into this deficit and make the game 4-1. So that's a huge shot and score from Burrillville. And they might be trying to climb the ladder to get back into this one. That's center. It's poked away that time over to the 11 of Cole LaPrade. LaPrade dumps it up ice. And before it's cleared into the zone, however, not cleared well enough, icing the call. That was a huge score by Patrick Poisson, and it's definitely going to give some confidence to this Broncos unit. They've trailed throughout much of this one, and they're going to need 3 more goals to find themselves in this game. But we'll see if the Clippers are going to let anything off that gas pedal. The shutout streak broken by Jared Johnson. Christian Oliveira, he already has 3 goals in this one. Can he make it 4? Trying to wrap around on the inside, and Mansloff stands tall that time. Glove save. And back in the action. Out on the floor, a good scoring opportunity, shot, score! The Clippers add their 5th goal of the game, and it's off the back of the 14 of Christian Oliveira. Wow. Score 5-1 in this one from Levy Ice Rink here in Burrillville, Rhode Island. Wow. And back into the action. Trying to get a good setup here. Clippers answered back quickly to increase the lead. And back to the near side. Back at center. Anderson trying to get it around there and move the puck up ice. And this will cut back in the opposite direction. Good chances. Murphy's trying to get set up, and McGill luckily was there defensively on the left side. They're fortunate it wasn't a Bronco sitting there. And we get a whistle call, delayed penalty to come, as we're going to get a hook with 15:20 to go in this matchup. And so we'll face off. Lopes to Oliveira. Back to Lopes at the point. Lopes to Oliveira. Oliveira nearly sending his fifth goal of the game. Oliveira behind the net that time for Sam Lopes. Trying to creep slowly but surely. Sam Lopes finally trying to make the strike happen to Sen, and Robbins going to have to take it away. Sen didn't have enough extension, and Oliveira bounce off of Mansloff. And after the two shots, big time save. .48 to go. And the score 5-1 as the Clippers add on their fifth goal of the game after Burrillville managed to answer in the affair. Back to Lopes. Lopes trying to navigate downward. Lopes losing his balance. Nearly a breakaway try for Fournette. Sam Lopes trying to make something happen. Robbins across to Oliveira, who hesitated, and this one's going to bounce off of Mansloff and come back to the near side. Oliveira back to Lopes. Lopes trying to look, and it'll bounce off of the backside of the net. Lopes past Robbins on the pass. Robbins sends one down that time to Sam Lopes. Sam Lopes trying to backhand it, and Mansloff makes the save. And at the top of the zone, Taylor. He'll shuffle this down past the 9 of, or excuse me, that was Perrin to Taylor. Taylor has possession of the puck. This one, ooh, dangling, bounces off the post, off the rebound. And the Broncos avoid more damage. McGill to bring it up as they continue the power play. At the top. And the Broncos officially clear this one, but after the power play ends, Matthew Collette says, doesn't matter, I'll find the hole through the 5-hole. And with that, the Clippers move the score to 6-1 in this lopsided affair that I'm sure no one expected at the end of this tournament, and 13-17 to go in regulation. And we have an injured Bronco leaving the game. That's the 9 of Cameron Potter. So the Broncos now without the 3 and 9 of Stevie Rodriguez and Cameron Potter, two of their most valuable starters. And that's definitely something they didn't want to have happen. Puck travels to the far side. Boyson trying to set it up on the far end. And at the top of the line, taken in there by Cam Laramie as he dumps it in. And the pass leading ahead of Hunter Jones, and ultimately Laramie dumps it back in. Taylor with a hard check. Right at the line, Fournette sending it down to the slot, trying to finish it off, and Johnson going to get in there and make the save. And a little bit of extracurricular unfolding after the play ended. It's been a very frustrating day for these Broncos, and these frustrations starting to show a little bit as the Clippers have just been utterly dominant from the very first minute we dropped this puck. Christian Oliveira, number 14 in this one, holds 4 of the 6 goals for Cumberland. And he's without a doubt, in my opinion, the tournament's player of the game. Of the tournament, the player of the tournament, I should say. Player of the day, too, for that matter. And of the game. Back to the near side. And Clippers will send this back up ice. Stone to meet it. Past the neutral zone. And he'll flip it behind the back to LaPrade. This one off to Gomes. Back to LaPrade. LaPrade dumps it up, and this puck will go out of play. So a face-off to go into the Burrillville side of the ice. Taken behind the net. Puck displaced off to the left side. Anderson flips it back through center, trying to chase it down quickly. And it's flipped back up ice at neutral ice there for Rodney Fournette. Fournette with the dump in. And to meet it is the 6 of Seth Perrin. Niez sends it uphill that time. It's poked away from Anderson. And here come the Clippers. That shot off of Mansloff and a save. Barron over to St. Pierre. St. Pierre clears it to the blue line into neutral ice. And now a good chance for Anderson to try and make something happen as he has Connor Davis behind him, but Sam Lopes, the feed to Taylor. Taylor mishandling the puck, but cutting to the inside and now behind the net. At the top to St. Pierre. St. Pierre leading Lopes a bit too much, and Taylor going to have to go help him. The deflection, and Poisson finds it. And this puck out of play into the stands. So now we'll face off on the Burrillville side of the ice. Chance right in front is Sen. Rifles one at Mansloff, and that will ultimately be saved. McGill, this one bouncing off of Gomes' pads as they try and clear it back to center. The Clippers keep it in the zone. Fournette struggling as he eventually will clear it. Oliveira behind the Clippers' net. Oliveira, look at the speed on him. Oliveira breaking through a bunch of defenders. He is just utterly dominating the ice today. And this puck will travel back in the opposite way. McGill. McGill up ice to Sen. Up to Sam Lopes. Lopes whiffs on the chance was Poisson. And Taylor cutting it inside. Mansloff finally gets the glove down to make the stop. A very disgusting shot differential. Burrillville only with 12 in the game, while 43 for Cumberland has been their de facto as to why this team has been doing so good. And Jarrett Johnson retired from the game, and in at net now for the Cumberland Clippers is number 1, Isabel Beitler, the sole female player on the team, and this is definitely exciting for her to get some playing time. Pass up to Lopes, and now behind the back at center ice. And the dump off. And Taylor with the lead. Taylor made a man miss and break his ankles as this one bounces off of Mansloff. And now a good chance for Murphy. Murphy off to Carey. Carey has the puck poked away that time from Medeiros. And a great play. Lopes trying to find the holes. It bounces off of Mansloff. And back to the near side. Clock continues to chip away. Broncos have just not been able to get out of their own end in quite some time. As this Clippers unit, bouncing off a man's helmet. That's why they call them brain buckets, ladies and gentlemen. And this one dumped in. Lopes all the way up to Sen. Sen crashed down right in front as Robbins will come in. Robbins trying to wrap around the backside and trying to set up Sen in the corner. Bounces off the top of the post as it nearly crossed the threshold. LaPrade bringing the puck up that time for Frankie Staples. Staples gets all caught up, and LaPrade there falls to his bottom. Jacob Lopes, one-on-one shot, score! Goal number 7 for the Clippers. Seven to 1, the score in Burrillville, as the Clippers just continue this unbelievable dominance and have really just stunned everyone, including myself, tonight. And a chance, and Mansloff with the save. On the far side corner, Niaz continuing to fight for it, but the Clippers are just causing a lot of duress here. Back at center, Murphy. Poke checked away and scooped up that time by the 21 of Collette. Trying to get a setup chance, and Lopes will come up with it. Lopes into center. Sam Lopes. Anderson in the back. Shuffles it across, and it's knocked down by the Clippers. They keep it in the zone ultimately. Lopes, nearly a good setup. Taylor wrapped around the left side. Nias and Lopes looking to fight for that one. Puck breaks free, a chance and a shot. Mansloff makes a tough save again. And Perrin pokes it back into play. Taylor shuffles this one down to the left. Back at center. And a whistle called for icing. And this one dumped up ice. Knocked off of Perrin's skates. Poisson getting tangled up, including, that was Fournette also. Cut up ice. Breakaway chance, and Sen crossed the blue line before he gained possession of the puck. So offsides the call on the floor. And 5:07 as we come back to neutral. Sen through center, crossing the blue line as it's poked away a whole bunch. And now LaPrade tries to clear it the opposite way. Sen trying to get ahead as Gomes takes the puck and flips it up ice. Robbins and LaPrade to take it away for Burrillville. At center, it's dumped in by Stone. Murphy trying to shuffle it in front, and Beitler has a whole bunch of rebounds coming at her, and eventually the Broncos get it taken away. And the puck stuck under the body of Robbins before the Clippers can actually pick it up. It's dumped back in. Trying to set up in front of Beitler again, and it's ultimately cleared back to center ice. Nias to dump it in right there. Shot scored from afar. The 15 of Nate Nias shoots one that skips past the pads of Isabel Beitler. And the Broncos etch into the lead. Score now at 7-2. And passed off to McGill on the left side. Between the wickets and back to center ice. Fournette behind the net. Around the backside. And now to center. And remain onside. A hard body check from Dean Perillo. And they were trying to set up in the slot one more time. Nias offsides the calls. He came across a little too early. .336 to go in regulation. Your score 7-2 as Cumberland leads in a landslide of a lead here in this one of the final game of the Burrillville Holiday Classic. On the near side. Trying to get the setup shot. And Burrillville brings it back up. Here comes Ryan Fournette. Bouncing one off. Poisson can't seem to get there in time on that left side. And a great save from Beitler. Lopes crosses the blue line. A chance, a shot. Deflected off the defender, out of play. 3:02 to go. Wrapped around to the far side. McGill shuffles one down right in front. And it'll come back to the near side. At center. This one over the top. That time scooped up by Ethan Murphy. And it's dumped into the zone for Ryan Stone. But it'll ultimately come back to neutral ice. Carey didn't seem to see Oliveira shadowing him right there. Oliveira, 4 goals in the affair, would obviously like to see a 5th. Back to center. Carey trying to feed it far to Ethan Murphy, and this one skips into the spectators. Out of play. And now the face-off at neutral ice. Taken across. The shot over the top of the net that time from the 12 of Evan Polachek. 2 minutes to go in the second half, and it's been all Clippers as Lopes brings it back up. A shot there off of Jacob Lopes and a save. Sam Lopes, another one. And eventually Polachek to take it up for Burrillville. This one wrapping around the backside. And back around to the near. Cumberland, over 50 shots on goal tonight to Burrillville's 18. Just proves how great these Clippers have played today. They have just put the pedal to the metal in every facet of the game. Right in front, Lopes. And a save from Mansloff. Going back to the backside there as LaPrade has it. This one dumped forward. All the way up, a good chance, and Murphy can't even get there. Beitler gloves that one up cleanly. 1:04 to go. And usually this Burrillville crowd is usually a very vocal one, but tonight, dead silent from start to finish. It's just been a tough one for the home crowd to really witness, as the Clippers have just done everything they can to keep this game out of the Broncos' reach, and that they did. 5-goal lead. It was at one point a 6-goal lead. And as we get back to center, it'll be poked back into the Clippers' side. Hard body check, and we'll keep in play. Back over to the near. And dumped in. On the backside. Wrapped around over the top. It's just been tough sledding throughout. But the Clippers have proven that they were the best team in this tournament. This one poked back out as Carey tried to sneak a backdoor in. That was only the 20th shot of the Broncos, but for that matter, that will be the conclusion of this one, ladies and gentlemen. 7-2 the final. The Broncos are solemnly defeated in their home ice, and the Cumberland Clippers defeat them by a final of 7-2. This was a game, it was a tough pill to swallow if you're a Bronco, as the Clippers started off with a hat trick within 5 minutes from the 14 of Christian Oliveira. He would finish with 4 on the day with backings from the rest of their unit. Stevie Rodriguez and Cam Potter both exited this one for the Broncos. Potter appeared to be injured. Rodriguez might have been disciplinary action, but we hope the best for them. And this Broncos team, this is a non-league game. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just for the tournament. But for the Clippers, this really shows off how good this team may be this year. They've got quite the pieces to prove it, and we're definitely going to see them going down the line, potentially make a push for the playoffs this year, because they definitely have what it takes. Burrillville going to have a lot to talk over, but they're going to remember this one. You bet yourself they will. They're going to remember this one, and definitely going to have to fix things going forward. But until then, thank you for tuning in this week to the Burrillville Holiday Classic. It was quite an adventure of taking you all through each step of the day. But that'll do it for us here on Fans Only Sports Network. Alden Doris on camera. I'm Chris Hetu calling the plays here in this one. Thank you all for tuning in. It was a pleasure treating you, and we will see you all next time.